In the world of modern ambition, few forces bend reality as quietly and powerfully as respect. Look around. Your peers, your coworkers, even your neighbors. They're all subtly competing, angling for that minor social advantage. They pretend it's about being liked, about belonging, about collecting likes and tags. But they're playing the wrong game. The scoreboard that truly matters isn't public. It doesn't tally smiles or applause. It keeps track of leverage. And leverage begins the moment people feel more risk in crossing you than they do in pleasing you. That's why you must make respect, not affection, your internal compass. Imagine yourself at 18, walking into your first university lecture. The room buzzes with energy, everyone eager to impress, to connect, to fit in. You could join in. You could laugh too loud, overshare too fast, fake a bond over music you don't even enjoy. Or you could sit still, straight posture, calm eyes, reserved. Our culture might call that antisocial, but Machiavelli would call it wisdom. Detachment sparks curiosity, and curiosity turns forgettable kids into figures that linger in others' minds long after class ends. Fast forward 10 years, you're at a tech startup. Open office, artisan coffee, Slack emojis. While others tell loud jokes or spill personal drama to win approval, you deliver projects early, speak only when the words matter, and leave at 5 on the dot. You won't be invited to karaoke night, but you will be noticed. They'll lower their voices when you pass. That's respect. Because real respect begins when your presence feels just a little dangerous. Not in a physical sense. This isn't medieval Europe, but existentially dangerous. The kind of presence where someone second-guesses mocking you because the fallout might not be worth it. One careless joke at your expense could shift their schedule, cost them credibility, or shake their certainty. That split-second hesitation before they say your name, that's power operating in silence. The mistake most people make from adolescence into middle age is confusing likability with influence. We're trained in school to chase friends just to survive socially. That habit hardens into adulthood where people still believe popularity equals power, as if social points convert into real-world rewards. But anyone who's watched a charming underachiever talk themselves into irrelevance knows the truth. Once people sense your hunger for approval, your influence evaporates. Because neediness is predictable, and the predictable are easy to exploit. So your first upgrade, your Machiavellian shift, is emotional detachment. Sever the invisible string that tethers your mood to public validation. Start with the small stuff. Skip the group photo. Ignore the gossip thread. Let sarcastic remarks drift by unanswered. At first, it feels like exile. But slowly you notice something change. People become cautious. Their tone shifts. They interrupt you, then apologize. They may not adore you, but they begin to tread lightly. And the scoreboard tilts in your favor. Now learn the value of boundaries. Real leverage lives behind invisible lines. Lines people learn not to cross because doing so comes at a cost. The simplest boundary? Your time. Say your boss asks for a late night. Just this once? Agree, but trade it for something measurable. Flexibility on the next project. Public credit in a team meeting. Teach people that every favor carries a price tag. Another wall? Privacy. Speak less about your personal life. When someone prods, smile, then pivot, mystery is currency. You control its value. But detachment alone won't shield you. You must also master controlled unpredictability, the fog that clouds your intentions and keeps people guessing. If others can map your next move, they can maneuver around you. But if your rhythm changes, sometimes helpful, sometimes withdrawn, sometimes instant with replies, sometimes silent for hours, they hesitate. And hesitation gives you an edge. There's no need to be chaotic, only unreadable. Each shift, each delay, each surprise must serve your larger purpose. Gaining leverage, maintaining mystique, preserving freedom. In a world addicted to noise, silence becomes both shield and sword. Reject the compulsion to constantly explain, to share every thought, to always react. Silence forces others to guess, and in that guessing, they often project their own fears. Meanwhile, you reserve your energy for moments that matter, moments where your action hits with clarity and finality. Power, after all, demands proof, not in volume or aggression, but in unmistakable consequence. Correct a senior colleague publicly, but with poise. Leave a social group when their conversation turns to cruelty. One clean gesture carries more weight than endless declarations. And still, power without discipline collapses into tyranny. Machiavelli warned, "It's better to be feared than loved, so long as that fear never becomes hatred. Because fear coils inward. Hatred strikes back." So frame your power through excellence. Make others worry about disappointing your standards, not about enduring your wrath. Standards can be met. Violence invites rebellion. Also remember, money is not the only resource. Information is leverage. At 25, discover a trick to save hours at work. Don't announce it. Share it surgically with allies who elevate you. At 40, know a critical rumor? Leak it precisely. Gatekeepers get remembered, and gatekeepers get power. Protect your scarcity. Learn things others ignore. Study obscure fields. Read the footnotes. Test tools before they trend. Every edge you earn becomes a lever no one else holds. And that aura of competence, of quiet force, demands constant upkeep. A powerful physique weakens without protein. A powerful reputation fades without daily precision. In our era, discipline starts with calendar control. Say no more often than yes. Not rudely, but with clarity. Your time funds your purpose, not their whims. Do it often enough, and others begin treating your attention like gold. Physical presentation matters too. You don't need designer suits, but wear clothes that match the image you mean to project. Clean, fitted, intentional. You don't need to look like a fighter, but you should stand like one. The body communicates what no caption can. Make it say, "This person respects himself. You should too." Technology introduces new traps, read receipts, online status, story views. They tempt you to signal constant availability. Resist. Disable the features. Delay by default. People don't misinterpret absence, they fear it. Used wisely, even social media becomes a tool. Post your wins after they're complete, not while they're brewing. Maturity, not momentum, builds respect. Accept solitude as preparation. Many run from silence, filling it with scrolling. Embrace it. Let your mind rehearse strength in the quiet. And then one day, someone tests you. A public insult, cruel jokes, a raised voice. Pause. Don't mirror their energy. Lower your tone. Slow your words. Lock eyes and signal clearly. "I heard you. I disagree." Proceed carefully. Then either walk away or escalate, but never both. That clarity unsettles people, and your limits become folklore. But this isn't a one-time act. Reputation has inflation. If you rest on yesterday's wins, you decay. So innovate. Move cities. Switch careers. Learn languages. Diversify yourself until you are unclassifiable. That too earns respect. Wealth helps, of course. Save early, invest wisely, and build the cushion that lets you say no. But wealth alone doesn't earn awe. Presence does. And presence is built from hundreds of micro-decisions: the firm handshake, the refusal to laugh at cruelty, the willingness to listen instead of brag. Stack enough of those, and you become a presence people feel before they understand. In dating, the same applies. Swipe culture teaches people to fish for fleeting attention. Break the loop, respond slowly, appear rarely. But when you do appear, lead. Choose the venue. End the night on your own terms. Mystery grips deeper than charm ever could. Family may resist your evolution. Some may call your boundaries disrespectful. Clarify once, kindly, then hold the line. Parents will adapt. Children will challenge you. But even they learn. Early on, teach them that politeness unlocks doors faster than tantrums. That lesson compounds for decades. The Machiavellian path isn't lonely, unless you think love means constant surrender. True intimacy thrives within mutual respect. Friends who flourish under your terms are allies. Those who demand your submission are parasites. Structure your circle into 3 layers. Confidants who share your values, collaborators who exchange value, and spectators who admire from afar. As you age, your edges sharpen. You'll meet younger versions of yourself, eager, ambitious, impulsive. Let them test you. Smile. Offer guidance if it's earned. Withhold it if not. They'll respect your silence more than empty advice. Track one metric throughout life. How many of your decisions are made from approval-seeking versus strategy? Tip that ratio a little every season, and by midlife, you will have built a fortress, one forged from silence, discipline, mystery, and leverage. And when life turns, layoffs, heartbreak, illness, your fortress holds. People may never write you sonnets, but they will never write you off. Respect without affection isn't cold. It's compound interest from every disciplined choice. Detach from approval. Build walls. Stay unpredictable. Treasure silence. Curate your value. Evolve constantly. Do this long enough, and the world makes space for you when you enter. It listens when you speak, and it hesitates every time before it dares to disrespect you. They may not embrace you, but they will remember your name. Eventually, the pace of your life will quicken. Promotions, relocations, new circles, new agendas. And the question returns again and again. Do people respect me here? The Machiavellian doesn't ask that aloud. He watches. He studies tone shifts, deference and disagreement, the pauses that precede questions. Respect is never announced. It's revealed in how softly people step around your silence. That's the true litmus test. Not applause, not friendliness, but hesitation. A micro pause before someone challenges you, as if their nervous system is calculating risk. That pause is your legacy in miniature. But legacies are brittle if left unattended. You cannot automate respect. You audit it. You maintain it. And as you rise, new threats emerge, not from enemies, but from comfort, the dull edge of routine. You grow so competent in your field that you stop evolving. The room still defers to you, yes, but slowly, your mystique decays into predictability. Respect becomes routine. Then routine becomes invisible. The world stops flinching, not because they overcame your presence, but because you neglected it. So you must reinvent, change arenas, pivot industries. Switch your focus just before mastery curdles into complacency. Let people say he's brilliant and now he's doing that. Confuse expectations. Disrupt your own narrative before the world writes it for you. Do not seek to be understood at every turn. The need to be understood is a trap disguised as transparency. Be clear in your values, ambiguous in your strategy. A man who is fully legible is easy to mimic, easy to oppose. A man partially veiled is harder to calculate, and calculation is what most people depend on to gain the upper hand. Now apply this to the realm of mentorship. Eventually, you'll be asked to guide others, but not everyone deserves your blueprint. Share lessons, not your operating manual. Teach principles, not personal tactics. Protect your intellectual DNA. Generosity without boundaries is a donation to your own obsolescence. Instead, cultivate protégés who echo your discipline, not your personality. Let them imitate your rigor, not your wardrobe. The goal is influence, not replication. And when competition arises from those once beneath you, do not panic. Influence survives successes. Fear only stagnation. Meanwhile, your digital shadow grows. Every opinion, every photo, every response becomes part of a searchable archive. Audit that archive. Scrub what contradicts your current stance. We do not owe the world perfect consistency, but contradictions cost authority. You're allowed to evolve. Just ensure the public version reflects intentional change, not impulse. The internet never forgets, but you decide what it remembers most. In conflict, remember, outrage is amateur theater. True power moves quietly. When someone slanders you, don't sprint to refute them. Wait. Let time embarrass their exaggerations. Let others defend you unsolicited. That is reputational wealth paying dividends. Silence in the face of rumor often speaks louder than 1,000 rebuttals. When you finally address it, be brief, surgical, unflinching. You're not here to beg understanding. You are here to correct the narrative once and let silence finish the job. Eventually, someone will challenge you publicly. It will happen. A subordinate with ambition, a peer with envy, a stranger seeking clout. In that moment, do not escalate emotionally. Do not match their volume. Match their precision. Match their stamina. Strip the theater from the stage and leave them performing alone. The audience notices. They always do. Emotional control under pressure is not just admirable, it's terrifying. It communicates, I've been here before, and I'm still standing. There will be times when reputation alone won't protect you. A scandal, a lie, a betrayal, a campaign to discredit. When that comes, do not rely on public perception. Rely on structure, systems, paper trails, allies in the right places. Your aura is an asset. But systems are insurance. Power ungrounded in infrastructure is a castle on sand. Build redundancies before you need them. The best time to prepare for crisis was last year. The second best time is now. And know this, enemies will multiply in silence. Not everyone who smiles is neutral. Some are collecting data, waiting, smelling for weakness. You do not need paranoia, but you need pattern recognition. Watch how people behave when you fail. That's your compass. When a deal falls through, who texts you? When your name is left off an invite, who asks why? When your public win dims, who stays lit beside you? These are the allies to protect. Speaking of protection, begin to consider physical security, not paranoia. Preparation. Learn basic situational awareness. Carry yourself like someone trained, even if you're not. Make eye contact without invitation. Speak like someone with legal counsel. Move like someone who's been followed before. It changes how predators measure your worth. Some doors stay closed to the unguarded. Aura, yes, but boundaries too. Physical presence should signal, this is not an easy target. Proceed carefully. Your private life, too, deserves guardrails. Keep intimate relationships sacred but selective. Oversharing to signal vulnerability is an impulse born from loneliness, not strategy. True intimacy is not confession, it is alignment. You don't owe anyone a tour of your past. You owe your future a fortress. Keep the core sacred. Let people earn access to the vault. If you hand out keys on the first date, do not be surprised when the doors swing both ways. Eventually, prestige will chase you. Invitations, interviews, spotlights. Don't bite at every lure. Exposure is a drug. It feels like progress. Sometimes it is. Often it's bait. Fame without filtering corrodes credibility. Choose your platforms like you choose your weapons, each one with purpose. Say no to podcasts that want gossip. Say yes to journals that demand rigor. Not every stage deserves your presence. Scarcity, once again, deepens value. At some point, someone will ask how you became who you are. What's the secret? A hack? A shortcut? You'll be tempted to answer, to inspire, to crystallize your process into a clean quote. Don't smile. Say, I listened more than I spoke. I watched what others missed. I acted when others froze. Leave it at that. Let their imagination inflate the myth. That's not deception. That's discipline. And if they're worthy, they'll figure it out in time. Because respect, ultimately, is not about perfection. It is about clarity. You teach the world how to treat you by how you treat yourself. Your posture, your calendar, your discipline, your standards, these are your curriculum. Every day is a lesson. Most people teach neediness. You, instead, teach selectiveness. You teach calm. You teach capability under pressure. And those lessons linger long after affection fades. So remember, the man who earns affection is remembered fondly. But the man who commands respect is remembered permanently.